guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we're talking about sleep tips, how to improve your sleep because it affects your overall health in such a big way. Sleep is not like a glamorous topic, it's not maybe as inspirational as talking green smoothies and things like that.
It's not really fun to tell you to go to bed early, but...
But sleep is the time where your body's restoring, it's a big part of our circadian rhythm, so our body's balanced.
It's even a big part of weight loss. If you're not losing weight, you should be looking at your sleep.
I've listened to a few podcasts with nutritionists that are helping celebrities and things, and they even have said to their clients, like, if you're not sleeping X amount of time, I don't even really want to work with you because you're not going to get results. So sleep is huge.
Yeah, don't underestimate your sleep.
Today we're doing 5 tips, so we'll just get started. Our first tip is to avoid blue light once the sun goes down. Now, you've probably heard this, it's like the word is spreading a lot about devices and the wavelengths of light that emit from them and how they affect our sleep. But if you haven't heard about it, just very briefly, blue light is a wavelength of light which, once it enters our eye, it affects our body's interpretation of whether it's day or night. So normally in nature, the sun would rise and we'd wake up and all that blue light would tell us that it's daytime, time to be awake and active. But when we're now going past sunset and using these devices that put blue light,
make us think that it's daytime all the time.
And what it does is it suppresses a hormone called melatonin, which is our good sleep hormone, and that's, I guess, the mechanics of it. Moral of the story is you want to avoid that blue light. Now, it's pretty hard to avoid your devices completely, not gonna lie, it's not like we're perfect or anything. So there are a lot of really handy tools that you can use to reduce that blue light exposure.
That's the other side of the coin, is like you've got the blue light but the red light. So the red light is going to be easier on your eyes, easier on your hormones.
As humans, I guess we've evolved over so many thousands of years being around the campfire at night, around fire as our light source at night. So red light is not going to give you the negative effects the same as blue light. So what you can use is a sexy pair of glasses like these.
No, these are getting more popular. I've seen them like with some other YouTubers.
I think there are some nicer looking ones too.
Yeah, probably.
These kind of look like the goggles that you wear in the science lab back at school. But what they do is obviously they filter out those blue wavelengths of light.
So that's probably a really good option though. Like, a lot of people are going to think it looks silly, but if you're the kind of person that has no choice really but to be working on your computer at night, you know, you could look into buying a pair of those sorts.
Yeah, and they're only cheap. You can buy them
on eBay, probably.
On eBay, on Amazon. They're really cheap, and there's a few different options. There's more nice ones coming available, but really you do want to have one that gives a good block out. And you're at home anyway, so I will wear these like if I'm watching TV at night time.
Does James judge you?
No, sometimes I give them to him too, like if I'm going to bed and he's in front of the TV, I like put them on him.
Another thing that some people do is they change their light fittings.
Yeah, you can change the bulbs to a more red or yellow type of light.
Yeah. And
also there are heaps of good things you can use on your laptops. I'm not aware of anything for the TV, that's why I wear the goggles. But on your laptop there's an app called Flux. Yeah. Or it's, I think, f.lux. We'll leave it in the description. But that basically sets your monitor to respond to the time of day in your area.
So it will automatically, once it's like going into afternoon, it'll start turning up the redness in your screen. And you can also, on the iPhones and like the latest updates, you can also do that. Really?
I'm not sure about Android. Yeah, the latest update has it inbuilt.
Oh, cool.
So
I never update my phone. Okay, so our next point is kind of related. So it's about avoiding stimulation before bed. So that could be in the form of your devices. So a lot of us are still pretty hooked on our phones. I'm not gonna lie, I do struggle with like using my phone before bed, even using the laptop before bed. Although I am trying to get into the habit of putting my phone onto like flight mode about like half an hour before I go to bed, so I'm like forced not to use the internet.
Yeah, because it's one thing to avoid the blue light, but if you're getting really mentally stimulated before bed, like tinkering around on your laptop and making comments and going back and forth on social media right before bedtime, it's it's not really about the light, it's just like that level of stimulation.
I find even if I watch TV, like if I'm watching TV and I'm straight away going to bed after, like I can't sleep for like a half hour because it's just like I've got to have that time to wind down and kind of.
So like at least half an hour, I'd say. If you can do longer, that's awesome. But like, yeah, even just unwinding with a really easy to read book, or just doing a meditation, or just taking time to do your skincare routine and things like that without any technology is really helpful. So our third tip is to incorporate some carbohydrate at dinner time. So this is something where for many years the popular wisdom has been to have your carbohydrate at breakfast, and then you can like burn it off during the day, and that will be good.
Avoid all carbs at night because you're gonna get fat.
Yeah, but we would say that's not really entirely the truth. Having carbohydrate at night is really good for your sleep.
Especially if you're on a really low carbohydrate diet, it's good to have some carbs at night because it's going to be restoring your liver glycogen, which helps to support your brain function during the night. Also, if you have adrenal problems, it can be good to increase your carbs a bit.
Supporting your adrenals because you're not depleting your glycogen to the point where your blood sugar is
going down.
imbalanced.
Yeah,
because that's stressful on your body. So it's actually very supportive to have some carbohydrate before dinner, and sometimes I'll even have a little spoon of honey before I go to bed.
No, because honey apparently is supposed to be better than other forms of carbohydrate because it goes straight to your liver.
And if you're going to have a little insulin spike at any time of the day that makes you sleepy, it may as well be
at night
before you go to bed, right?
So number 4 could be a part of your kind of winding down routine, and that is to start incorporating some non-caffeinated beverages like teas. If you're still drinking coffee in the afternoon and at night time, I'd probably be cutting that out, especially if you're having sleep problems.
Yeah.
So we all know that caffeine is stimulating.
Everyone metabolizes a bit differently, but I have heard that it's about an 8-hour period for a coffee to be processed for your liver, I guess, to deal with the caffeine.
Yeah.
So some people metabolize quicker, some metabolize slower. If you know that you're a slow metabolizer, so you either get the jitters if you have too much caffeine, or you feel wired for quite a while after you have a coffee, you probably should stick to before 12, so midday, or maybe stretch it to before 2 p.m. to have your last coffee if you drink coffee, because it can interfere with your sleep even if it's quite a few hours beforehand.
So if you're looking for some alternatives to coffee at night time, we'd definitely be going for teas, but non-caffeinated teas. So even
no green tea.
Yeah, even though green tea is healthy, no green tea because that does have caffeine.
No
black tea, white tea, anything that's made out of like the for real tea leaf.
Yeah,
is
we're
gonna
talking
have
herbal
caffeine.
teas.
So there's lots of herbal teas that can be good for sleep. Some good herbs to look out for would be like passion flower, skullcap, lavender. They usually all incorporate, chamomile is a really common one. But if you buy like a herbal tea blend, usually they'll incorporate some of those herbs in there.
And that can be part of your routine before
winding down, yeah. So you stop, you turn off your devices, and you make a cup of tea and you go to bed.
Yeah. Our fifth and final tip is one that isn't that popular, but it is get into a routine and get to bed before 11 p.m. There's an expectation that if you want to be a morning person and get a jump on the day, that you should just demand of your body to get up early. But the other half of that is you need to get to bed on time. You need to get into a routine so that your body naturally wakes up early and you naturally fall asleep at night.
It's not going to be super cool to go to bed at like, sometimes you need to go to bed at like 9. That's not cool, it's a bit lame, but like, if you want to have a good sleep and you want to wake up refreshed,
it's just about, I think, honouring your body's natural rhythm, and that is that we sleep at night time. And when the sun goes down, we start winding down, we go to bed, and then when the sun rises, we get up. Because I think in the past, I know for myself it was true that I wanted to sleep in a lot. So I was just out of whack.
Yeah, your whole
I wanted to be a night owl and then sleep in the morning.
I don't even know how I managed to do that.
Yeah.
When you're like a teenager and you're like, I don't know, does anyone know MSN?
Yeah.
On MSN at like 2 a.m. in the morning.
And then I kind of like wondered why I couldn't get out of bed. Like, this is the weirdest thing.
Why am I tired during the day?
Yeah, I was so tired. Yeah, once you get into that routine, it just feels so good that you become, like that person who wants to go to bed early, but...
I enjoy sleep. Sleep is one of my favourite things. I don't know about you guys.
Okay, so those were our 5 tips for a better sleep. I hope that you got something out of this, that there were some tips that maybe you hadn't thought of before, hadn't heard of, or that you'll try incorporating into your routine.
Yeah.
We promise you that it will improve your health and make you feel so much better if you can start sleeping better. So until our next video, let us know if you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and we'll see you then. Bye! Bye!